Hey, good morning, now afternoon, everybody. Thank you for being with us today. I'm sure a couple more people are on their way. Just in the interest of time, I'm going to do something that's very difficult for me. I'm going to be brief. So you might remember these Post-its. So here we go. So this is a lunch and learn about being a leader in the effective exercise of leadership, social welfare 270. Thanks everybody for attending. Thank you to my speakers today, Sue and Chris and Stephen and Billy, who the majority of today is going to be a chance to hear from them directly. Also, thanks to Dr. Khush Cooper.
We also have a team member, Stephen Peterson's team member, that we might want to acknowledge.
Okay, all right. I'm not going to be so brief. We also have a team member, Stephen Peterson's wing man. This is, well, I won't say her name unless you choose to do that. But yes, we have a very special guest with Stephen. Thank you, sweetie. And so Dr. Khush Cooper is with us today, who is the instructor of record for the course and my partner in this, and also Viji Ochoa, who I hope everybody knows from the PEMBA team, is graciously joining us. This is a cross-campus partnership. Dean Bernardo loves the idea of cross-campus partnering, and Dr. Cooper, Khush, and I have been working together since 2016 when I actually took this course. I took it with the MSW students in the winter of 2016, and it was a kick in the pants for my leadership. I started the Drive Time blog, wrote my second book. It's just, I started getting up at 5 in the morning and now it's 4:30. So I discovered some things about myself, but I'm not gonna share that other than to say I've been putting my money where my mouth is ever since. And this is the 4th time that we are offering this course, the 2nd time we're offering it through UCLA summer session, which the benefit of that is that it's available to take for credit. My goal, this is a stretch goal, but I love stretch goals because they get me out of bed in the morning. I would love to have 25 current students in this year's course. Last year we had 4, so you can see that's a pretty aggressive stretch goal, and 15 alumni. So I'd love to have 40 PHEMBA voices take this course this year, because I think there's a possibility of a critical mass that could really be beneficial to everyone. So last year we had 4 current students and 2 alumni, and all 4 of those wonderful current students are graciously here today. So our format is we're gonna go Chris, Sue, and then what is it? Stephen and Billy, and up to 10 minutes each, just an introduction, because I know we have 2 different class years represented, both 22 and 23. But a little bit about who they are in the world, what their careers are about, why did they register for a leadership course, and then what they get out of it, and where has it been beneficial? Because in my opinion, this is a course that can complement and catalyze. I think this course can very powerfully complement and catalyze the breadth of an MBA degree. And then we'll leave like 10 minutes at the end for Q&A of either Dr. Cooper, VG, or even myself. Try to get done by 12:55, 1 o'clock, no later than 1 o'clock. So again, thanks everybody for being here. We're recording this. I know several people wrote me and asked if we could share a recording. So with no further ado, or I mean, Khush, anything just as, okay. So with no further ado, I would like to hand the floor to our first PHEMBA, Sue Zhu, and I'll let Sue introduce herself and kind of just get right into the meat of this lunch and learn.
Hi everyone, I'm Sue. I'm a PHEMBA 2022. First of all, thank you for your interest in being a leader course, and thank you for taking your time to join us today. It's a great pleasure to share my learning experience with everyone here. First, a little bit about my background. So I was born and raised in China, and I finished my undergrad, majored in pharmaceutical engineering in China. Then I came to the United States for graduate school and focused on drug discovery and development against cancer. After that, I started working in pharmaceutical industry. My first full-time job was with a small startup in New Jersey. And then I moved to California, like Los Angeles area, to work with a bigger pharmaceutical company because I wanted to know how they scale up the manufacture of biologics particularly. And then later on, I got interested in something outside of my previous area, which was plasma-derived therapies. So I got interested in vaccines. So I relocated to Boston area and started working in our vaccine business units, which is before the pandemic. And then everyone, got interested in vaccines, and I got a lot of questions. It's really great learning experience for me, either like in my professional experience or also my MBA study, because all of these changes have provided me a lot of opportunities to learn and also grow. Leadership course has been really helpful for me in the past 2 to 3 years. That's why I'm here to share my learning experience today. Why I took this being a leader course. So initially, after I got accepted to the MBA program in 2019, we had a workshop called Leadership Lab. Because I was doing research in a lab for a long time, I just love the concept of, treat everything like doing an experiment. You don't really know if you will succeed or fail that reaction, particularly in chemistry, my major. So I was thinking it was really great concept to just treat everything like an experiment. The same for practice leadership. At that time, that's actually one of the goals why I decided to pursue MBA. I wanted to become a more effective leader. Particularly, I was not very confident. For me, at that time, I had a lot of constraints, perceptual constraints, and also functional constraints. I can give some example. A lot of times I would think I don't really know what should I do next because I'm not familiar with the culture background, or I don't speak English well. So I put a lot of constraints. So I had a lot of pressure how I could act in the way that I would feel free to act. So for me, I was really kind of like in the period that trying to figure out how to help myself overcome these difficulties or constraints. So after this leadership lab workshop, I thought that's something interesting and something I would like to give a try. So I went to Dylan for advice. He recommended me this leadership course, and I was lucky to be one of the FEMAs. I think we got 5 FEMAs in my class was able to take this course. Actually, it's before pandemic, so it was in person. That's something very different because I took this course a second time last year, which is virtual. So if you have any question about like the difference of this, I can also provide some of my experience or perspectives after. So after I kind of like took this course for my first time in 2019, to be honest, I didn't think I truly understand what was taught in the course. But there was one thing I remember clearly, that was being myself and discover for myself and be used on the court. So I started practicing all of that right away. And I made a decision to change my career. That's the time I decided to explore opportunities outside plasma-derived therapies. And I did got an offer from our vaccine business unit. I was hesitated, to be honest, because I just started school my first quarter. I think the second week of my first quarter. There was no pandemic. You know, if I took the offer, I had to relocate to Boston. It became very challenging for me at that time because I was in the all-day Saturday session, which means I had to fly back to Los Angeles every Saturday. There was another option would be transferred to the hybrid. Do we still call hybrid? The flex, the flex session. But as I already started and I was the external rep of my class, I didn't really want to transfer to another session. So finally, I made my decision to accept the offer and also stay with my all-day Saturday session. That was really challenging for me, and I didn't know if I would survive, to be honest. But I got the support with from Anderson community, including my classmates and also the Anderson administrative team. So I told myself, like, just be used on the court. No matter what happens, I would do my best. And everything actually worked out. It was really challenging period, but overall it ended up pretty well, at least better than I expected. That's what happened in my, like, after I finished the first time of taking this course. Then during the pandemic, while taking course at Anderson and also taking new responsibilities in a different field, there had been a lot of challenges as well, particularly because of the pandemic. There has been a lot of first times in our department. We had a supply chain issue or shift of priorities and shortage of staff. All of these difficulties came up in short time. During this complex environment, I didn't think it was something like difficult or like something not or negative. I thought it's not a good thing to have the pandemic, but because of these changes, because of these challenges, I got exposed to a lot of opportunities to kind of like practice what I had learned at Anderson at that time, and also from the course. So I was able to learn a lot of new things in really short time, and kind of like became master in a lot of new fields at that time. Because even though I was someone just learned the new skills or knowledge, but I was already the expert at that time because no one had really learned that or worked in that area within our department. That actually kind of like I didn't really have time to think, like, if this is not going well, what should I do? So now when I reflect back what happened, I just feel like a lot of times you take actions, you make decisions, not actually based on your analysis or the logic you have in your mind most of the time in that specific time period, you just act naturally as your natural self-expression. And maybe later on, when you reflect on all of this, you would think, oh, because of this, I did this. But now I don't really think so, because your actions and the way you think at that moment is not planned. So what I mean is that if I didn't take this course, I would be really nervous to take any action. But this course helped me remove my constraints. And I know I did my best, at least. So after all of this, even though when I reflect back, I still think in a lot of situations, I could do something differently to improve, which will benefit me for the future. Basically, that's just my experience after the my first time of taking this course. Then later on, when I reflect back on what all happened, I think all of this were the benefit I got after taking this course. And I thought I was pretty, I thought significant improvement of leading myself in the 2 years after taking this course. So I was wondering like how I could lead others more effectively. That's why I decided to take the course the second time last year.
Well, Sue, I could listen to you all day, and just in the interest of time, I'll you will get ready to hand it forward to Chris. But if I could just underline for people listening, the course has a tremendous amount of discovery built into it. You talked about discovering constraints being used by the distinctions of leadership, because the promise of the course is do the course as designed, and at the completion of the course, you will be a leader and exercise leadership as your natural self-expression. And you've done all that. And it's been exciting for me to watch you deal with a reorganization and where am I going to be and how do I find my place in this company. And my place is in Boston, but I go to school in California and I'm going to be unstoppable and I'm going to be on the court and I'm going to graduate FEMBA early anyway, and I'm going to grow my career. And, none of it, English second language, United States business culture, company reorganizations, I've just watched you stay on the court and lead yourself and grow your career. And it's just been super fun for me watching this course, contribute to your FEMBA journey, which is, what I get so excited about, that I think it can unlock. So anyway, I don't want to,
And Dylan, just
yeah,
to
please,
underline your underline,
please.
be a double underline. We do make a promise. I just want to highlight that a promise that all 80 or 100 or 120, however many students are in the course, you will leave this course being a leader and exercising leadership effectively as your natural self-expression. And that makes the course a little different because I teach other courses as a professor here at UCLA, and we don't make that promise in those courses. You get what you get. Here's the syllabus, here's the readings, I'm going to talk for 10 weeks, and you get what you get. But this course is distinct in that there's promise, and we take it very seriously.
Thank you, Khush. And I apologize for being so brief on the introductions. Everyone, this is Professor, Assistant Adjunct Professor.
We just want to look at the thing the finger's pointing to. We don't want to get enamored with the pointing finger.
There we go.
Yeah.
Awesome. So thank you, Sue, for kicking us off. And Chris, would you please add some perspective from your experience with the course?
Sure. Thank you, Dylan. Thank you, Professor Khush. Good to see you guys again.
And it's so good to see you.
Leadership team. So, hi everyone. My name is Chris. I am a international business development director for Gaush Medical, the largest ophthalmic medical device provider headquartered in China and the Netherlands. And I'm also a licensed realtor, so I do that on my own time, and it's very fulfilling as well. So welcome to connect with me regarding real estate or eye diseases, medical devices. Love to connect. So the reason why I took this course was, when I think about it, two things. One is willing to change, and the other one is curiosity. So when I look at the course email, and I saw the title is very attractive. It says, being a leader and the effective exercise of leadership. And I've never seen any leadership course title is like this. It actually tells you how to be a leader. And that's what's attracted me. Whoever came up with this name is brilliant. Yeah, it definitely got me in. So, so I went into the Zoom, one of the Zoom calls, just like what we had like this before, but was without, the alumni who has taken the course. It was with the professors and Dylan also. And, from that Zoom call, I understand that there is a promise, as what was mentioned earlier. And also what I got was, you will come out of this course, be a leader and exercise leadership as your natural self-expression. And that's what I wanted to do, be transformative after the course, transform myself to actually be a leader, behave like a leader. And I did not know how to do that. So this is what I wanted, and I went into the course. And but this course wasn't easy for me. Definitely was not easy. I think I've spoken with Dylan when I was taking this course in the very beginning. I definitely struggled many times, and I even thought about dropping the course. But I was glad that I did not drop the course. It took me about 4 or 5 sessions to really understand the course. It was not the way that naturally or normally it was taught. This course actually tells you how to experience and be very intentional about what was learned in the course and really practice. So for example, already always listening was one of the concepts. And this is really tells you this content actually was focused on how to listen authentically. And we all understand authentic listening, but how do you actually authentically listen was taught in this course. That's, you have to get your already always listening out of your system to really be out here and listen to your counterparts. And this was something was very eye-opening. It was a new set of sort of, in the course we said, a new world that opened up for me, and the power of context to use you was another content that was taught. When we had context, then within ourselves, it's very difficult for us to judge a situation in a correct way. So I had, these are many of the concepts, these are two of the many concepts that was taught in the course, but these two are had a profound impact on me and also on my relationship with my dad, because my dad was doing a small business at the time I was taking this course, and I always had my own context about my dad, and while providing my dad the specific feedbacks and recommendations about his business, and without listening to him authentically, which, as you know, in this kind of situation, I was not being helpful. So when I was taking this course, I realized that, and during this course, I was able to really step out of my own context and listen to my dad authentically, and to be able to be helpful, really be helpful, not create him more trouble. So, these are really two of the concepts that I learned and I realized are very, very helpful to me and really changed me at the end of the course. So how's the course now for me after the course? Actually, to conclude, I wanted to say that if you want to take this course, you have to be intentional in the very beginning to practice what was taught in the course. And then your intentionality will become your natural self-expression. So a few weeks ago during spring break, I invited a few friends to come to my home to have hot pot. And we talked about the being a leadership course, being a leader course. And, you know, my friends was asking me what changed me. Without even I starting saying anything, my wife said, well, I think his temperament has changed after the course. So he's a lot more patient. And I did not realize this. So so that was the aha moment that I realized that, oh, okay, so this is what's called, you know, express leadership as your natural self-expression, because without even knowing, without even being intentional, you already changed. And that was the promise of this course. So no matter how I struggled in the beginning, I stayed with this course, and this is what I got out of the course. And I also stayed with, I had the commitment. It was 8 o'clock for me. I work in the evening until very late, early 1 or 2 in the morning. And it was such a challenge for me to get up and be on Zoom call at 8 in the morning. And I did it. I didn't want it to waste my time. So I stayed with the course. But more importantly, guys, in this course, you will not only see FEMBA. What I saw was business owners, CEOs, successful consultants in their 50, 60, 70 years old, still taking this course and repeat this course. So I know there are some wisdom in this course, and I stayed, and I'm glad I stayed. And at the end of this course, I met with, you know, Billy, Stephen, and Sue, and we have a little, you know, leadership sort of click Zoom call on the Fridays hosted by Billy. And if you guys wanted to take this course, I think we can expand our little community here. So looking forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. I want to underline everything you said, and in the interest of time, I will not. This is hard for me.
Yeah.
But
I was looking at the time. I tried to get it under 9 minutes.
No, it's perfect. It's perfect. But yeah.
I think what Dylan's pointing to is there's just so much we want to say and lift up, and we're so proud, right? Like, you know, I could cry, like how proud I am of you all, but we'll leave it to hear from you.
Thank you, Chris. Stephen, broadcasting. Well, I forgot to ask where Sue, where are you? I'll just do this real quick, and this will take 10 seconds. Where are you? Are you in Boston?
Yeah, I'm in Boston.
And Chris, where are you?
I'm here in LA.
In LA. And Stephen?
I'm in the Milky Way.
The Milky. All right, we got the whole universe represented. All right, to you, Stephen.
I'm up here in Capitola, Santa Cruz, Northern California. Thanks so much, everybody, for being here. Really appreciate your time to be here with us today, and great to see everybody again. A little bit about me. So my background is rooted in a lot of language. So I took rhetoric as my undergraduate degree. I have exposure to Latin, Greek, fluent in Portuguese. I speak Spanish. That's important for who I am, because when I studied abroad in Brazil for a year in undergrad, I met my partner there, had a long distance relationship for 3.5 years until she moved up here 2013. We got married in 2014, and now have Aurora here. For my work, let's see, I've worked in healthcare for 12 years or so. I've been an independent consultant and contractor since 2016. Working at kind of the intersection of finance and operations for medical clinics and a couple of other areas, food carts and another healthcare practice. Let's see, I think honestly for everything that I say, I hope to create a point of departure for questions that you might have, because what's here for me might be what's here for you, and it very well may be something else. So that's kind of a little bit of my intent moving through this. So speaking to questions, basically, I've got a story about why I took this class and what I wanted to get out of it. But at the end of the day, really, I had a question that I wanted to pursue about exercising leadership as part of my natural self-expression. That is part of the promise of the course, to which the instructors are dedicated. We've talked about that before. And I think, to be entirely honest, I suspect that a question like that or something similar to that may be in each of you today. It's possible that it's not, but you know, y'all are here for some sort of a reason. There's something that's brought you here. And I think that you owe it to yourself to pursue that question without deciding on an answer, but seeing what comes from that honest, reflective pursuit and all the other questions that might come from it. Let's see. What opened up in the course for me? I both did and didn't expect a whole lot of development and discovery to come from this course. I think I got closure on some unresolved nuggets of information and thinking from my undergrad experience that I hadn't taken the time to sit with. That was something that was really unexpected. And that closure was really meaningful for me because of how much I valued that part of my education. I grew closer with my partner. I felt validation in the way that we had chosen to and are choosing to raise our child. I think that access is a big word that I'd use to describe for what opened up for me in the course. I think that access to future building, I think I have a reinvigorated sense of future building. And again, I remind you, like, I'm trying to give you all points of departure for questions, because there's so much of what all that means for me, but where it is and where it meets you is different. So just want to give you little snippets if I can. Let's see. How's my leadership after completing this course and going forward? I think for me internally, I don't second guess. I don't second guess myself as much. I can see it happening easier than before, and that helps me interrupt it. One of my favorite quotes is that comparison is the thief of joy. And so I move into what I'm about to say next, fully conscious of that and aware of that, but I think I'm a better person. And that's not small. I think that I felt myself move differently through my capstone experience with GAP and my team. This course was right about at the halfway point, and moving into the second half of that final push was so much for all of us. And I was able to feel myself nudging myself and my group members in different directions and areas, finding opportunities for leadership all over the place. Let's see. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can move more freely through things. I can cut clearer through the clutter of things. I can see what's happening. I can see where I want to go. I can make choices more easily. How all of this appears practically, I think is different. So some of the things that have happened for me that I could, you could take a video camera and say, this is what happened. I've pushed for several different campaigns to shape the culture and pedagogy at Anderson. I think there's an urgent call for leadership in our world, and Anderson can be the place that prepares its students to answer that. So that's something that I've pushed through several different fronts and initiatives, and continue to do so. I think that, practically speaking, I have a clear goal for my career, and while that specific role, the what, isn't mine yet, I do have a clearer idea of what it is. And perhaps more importantly, I know that the how and the why are mine, and those are here and now for me. And I think that's really big. They're not far away. The how and the why, I have access to them. I see access and I see opportunity in so many different places. I think if you do choose to take this course, I think a little bit of what Chris spoke to, the difficulty is different than what you might expect. So that's all I'll say on that. But do your best to first commit yourself to learning the rules of the game. For me, that gave myself a gift of being present for that to which I committed myself to. That helped me, and that it gave me awareness of those rules in the game in the moments when they came up. And then those moments became learning opportunities for me. So that was like one bit of advice that at least was really powerful for me. Let's see. There's a little bit of open time, I think. I wanted to give some open time here. I've got some poetry to read, but I'll just give one of them. I'll just give a little bit of it here, one quote, and then I'll drop another one in the chat. This is by Khalil Gibran, a Lebanese poet. And he says, "Forget not that the earth delights to feel your bare feet, and the wind longs to play with your hair." And I'll drop this other one in the chat here, which is called "Half is Not Enough." And that's my share.
Oh my God. Okay, super quick underline. What in the world does this phrase "as one's natural self-expression" point to? Well, Stephen just, I think, show, don't tell. As a business leader communicating with sophisticated people in a complicated world, to have the freedom to use a poem to underline a trajectory takes a certain sort of something. And Stephen just accessed that. And for Stephen, that is a natural self-expression, as you can see. And I get a little tingly. And he has, I gave Dean Bernardo an update about this course 2 weeks ago because of COVID, I'd not had a chance to update him yet, because I've now had 3 deans that I've requested support for this course: Dean Judy Olian, and then interim Dean Al Osborne, and now Dean Tony Bernardo. But because of COVID, I'd not had a chance to update. And because I'm hoping that Anderson will host the physical course this year, and we got to work out the space. And Dean Bernardo really liked what he heard because of the cross campus. And he said, yeah, I'd love to offer some scholarships, maybe some UCLA staff to be in the course. And he said, just make sure this is good with the M&O faculty. So I went and spoke with, Sanford DeVoe, who's the department chair for management and organizations, about the course. And he goes, oh yeah, I know all about that course. Senior Associate Dean Unzueta and former Senior Associate Dean Noah Goldstein, they told me about it. But mostly this guy, Stephen Peterson, came to my office last summer and told me all about this course. So Stephen, when Stephen says that he actually was interested in impacting the pedagogy at Anderson such that, leadership could be part and parcel, and that maybe UCLA could be an epicenter for leadership, not just Anderson, but social welfare and medicine and the whole world of it. So thank you, Stephen, because anyway, I am trying to brag about this course on behalf of Dr. Cooper, because you can't, when you're a faculty member, you can't brag about your own course. But when a student says, hey, this course was beneficial, there's a credibility with that people listen to. And so I was amazed when Department Chair Sanford DeVoe said, yes, I know all about this course. So thank you, Stephen. And thank you for the poetry. And oh my God, my timeline is totally blown. Billy Erickson. All right, here we go.
I say, Dylan, I could listen to Stephen just talk for like an hour about the course, so I object to being last now. You got to make Stephen last. That way he's the anchor. Stephen, that was excellent. So a little bit of background on me. I am Billy Erickson. I'm the sales manager for my family's tequila company. My family's been making tequila since the 1870s. My great-grandfather took us out of the business. My dad brought us back in. We have about 100 people in Mexico, and I am an only child in a family business, which can feel like a big burden to have sometimes. So why I took this course? Why I took this course is because there's about 100 people and their families who have jobs with us in Mexico, and somebody is going to need to lead the organization for it to continue in the future. And I've been doing that, and the better I can get at it, the so be it. So when I saw the course title come out, I was very interested. I sat through the first Zoom session with the teaching staff and thought, this sounds like somewhere I need to be to make sure that I can help our organization navigate the challenges of the future. And in addition to that, I just have a passion for leadership. As a sort of a side note, I'm a huge business nerd, like read Harvard Business Review for fun all the time. It's an economics undergraduate, but ended up reading like all the 10 must reads on leadership specifically was one of them too. But moving on, what opened up for me in the course was a few things. A few of the things that have been mentioned so far, just to amplify Chris's voice in being in a family business and dealing with my father. Chris and I had very similar issues where, as you know, and it's very, very powerful, these contexts you can create for your parents, right? I'll never forget, and this is a total aside, but my dad and I would get in these large debates when I was in high school, and a little bit of that carried through into our professional work, where you just refuse to acknowledge and you shut out the other person's view entirely because they could be saying something that is totally aligned with what you want to say, but you have this context that is so powerful for them about how they are telling you to do something else. You don't listen at all. So that was one of the things that opened up for me, is what context am I applying in the situations that I'm in. One of the other factors that really stood out, and this is more of a small business sort of mindset, right? In a small business, you have this really limited human factor, right? Because we just can't hire as many people as you would ever want to. So we have distribution partners in about 50 different geographic regions, and that's really challenging to stay on top of in terms of emailing and being in communication with them. And one of the concepts that the course introduced was integrity is a mountain with no top. And so it's okay that I can't be in constant communication with these people, but I just need to let them know that my time is limited, that I'm doing my best, that we are a small organization and we appreciate them working with us on that, because otherwise you just get this feeling of guilt that sinks in, like, oh, I need to get back to that email. I need to get back to this person on that subject. And, I realistically, at the end of the day, I'm one person. And so just stepping back and seeing how that concept of being integritous, and it's going to be a constant climb, really was very powerful for me to stay motivated on some of the days. So, and in addition to that, there's another concept that I really loved. I don't actually remember which of the instructors said this, but two of them, the choose to be here. And I actually printed that out from the course, and it's actually on my wall over there. But the idea of that, if you're going to go and be somewhere, choose to be where you are. And I've used it to help me focus at work, especially when a task gets tough, of why am I here and not somewhere else? I'm getting this great degree from, UCLA Anderson, right? I could quit and I could go be a consultant, or I could go be a banker, or I could go run a product for a company. But I am choosing to be here in my office where I run my family's business, and to see things from that, like, these are, giving voice to the choices you're making a little bit more was very insightful. And finally, one of my other favorite quotes was, you just have to decide. You never know enough information. You just have to make a choice sometimes. Sometimes the choice is to not make a choice and to tell people you're going to make a choice later. But, that's what executives do, is we make choices, right? And this is what everybody in this who comes through Anderson wants to be, is an executive and lead, and to have to make choices. To lead, you have to make choices. So I do have one last thing too, if I have another minute. Dylan, I don't know how I'm doing on time. I'm sorry, the time went out the window as soon as I started talking, because it all comes back, But one thing I've really struggled with in the past is to let other people lead. And after the course, that is something I have tried to purposefully be better at in my study groups, because otherwise I just railroad people and I take over. It's terrible. It's a really terrible habit, because it's really effective, right? Because you're just, oh no, okay, I lead, I know how to lead. I'm doing this, like, or I'll organize it, but that doesn't help my professional colleagues grow. It doesn't help my teammates at Anderson grow. So the past quarter, I purposely went, hey, this is what I think should be done. Somebody should take the reins with this, to try and encourage some of my colleagues who maybe it isn't their natural disposition to just be in charge, for them to sort of step forward. So, and I think that's a wrap. I don't have any poetry to read you guys. I'm sorry. So.
Thank you, Billy. And you're in San Diego, right?
Yeah, down here in San Diego.
This
So.
is, I still can't get over Zoom. This is amazing that we can do this. So, thank you, Billy. And, you know, a 6th generation family business, and, you know, hearing my father as both my father and a business partner with whom we have to make real choices with real consequences for over 100 families who rely on us and 50 distributors who carry our product, and the potential for overwhelm of all of that. And sometimes you just have to choose to be here now and decide. And even if the decision is to not make a decision, but tell them I'm going to make a decision in the future, and to have the freedom to be in all of that. Excellent. So everybody, just super quick, let me just mechanically share this screen. Oops, well, there we go. There's some cool poetry from the link. Oh, no, I can't. But, you know, if you are interested in the course, the mechanics of the course, it happens this August. We are hosting the course in UCLA summer session. So this is the main website that has this sublink that I'm sharing now. If I can get the thing to go away so I can access back to the page. Here we go. But the course, I'm 90% optimistic that we will get to physically host the course here at Anderson. I'm working out the Leadership Foundation's scheduling with the Executive MBA and with Daytime MBA. So I'm having to just, you know, patiently double check calendars, but optimistic that we will be the physical host of the course. But wherever, if it's not here, it'll either be at Social Welfare or at UCLA Health. So it'll be this year in person, 100% online, for 6 main teaching days with 1 optional.
Not 100% online.
Yeah,
100%,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, almost, excuse me for misspeaking. There'll be 1 session, a 3-hour session on Monday, August 1st, that you can attend in person or online. But the majority of the class is Friday, Saturday delivery. So physically beginning 10 a.m. on Friday and completing at 6:30 p.m. So basically 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. Friday and Saturday, August 5th and 6th. Then returning a week later, Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., August 12th and 13th. Then returning a week later for Friday and Saturday, 10 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., August 19th and 20th. So it is 45 contact hours. So it's actually a class and a half in our quarter system. This is 6 units of credit advancing towards candidacy. There will be optional sessions. There are 1-hour deepenings of the readings, course conversations that are available online. And then the program ends August 26th. And I think final materials are due August 29th, is what's listed in the syllabus. There is a leadership project that you get to choose from your career that's embedded in the course. Registration, if you choose to be in the course for credit, registration is to reach out to Viji Ochoa, who will register you in. So you don't really need to go to this registration button on the course, because that's for the general public. But if you're going to earn FEMBA credit, 6 units of FEMBA credit, then you will go through Viji Ochoa. So it's a little bit of a different registration because this is an out of Anderson elective. This counts as 6 units of elective credit, and you can take up to 8 units of elective credit out of Anderson. Viji, anything else just kind of high level mechanical that I would want to share with people at this point?
No, you feel free to email me if you are interested. I will, as Dylan said, manually enroll you. Bruin bill charges will then apply. We still charge a per unit, so you'll be charged for those 6 units. If you take it for a letter grade, it will count towards your MBA degree requirement. So that's 6 units towards your degree. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know.
So it's 12:50, so we have 10 minutes. Would be happy to entertain any questions from those of you listening. Please just raise your digital hand or just come off mute, and you can address it to Dr. Cooper or to any of our FEMBAs or VG or myself. And we're all happy to take questions after the Zoom ends also, of course.
Yeah, I just wanted to double encourage that questions are super helpful part of this course.
John, please.
Thank you. I have two quick questions, or one's quick, one's maybe a little bit more difficult. So quick question is, when do we have to let VG know if we want to be a part of the program?
Great question. So the sooner, the better. All bidding so bidding starts on Sunday and will go through next Thursday. And then fees are going to be due kind of right around the corner. So definitely the sooner the better. I would say no later than the second week of May. So that will be pretty much would be the latest to let me know.
Okay, thank you. And then the second question for the students that have done the program, someone mentioned that it was more difficult than they expected. When you think about like more difficult, what is that in terms of it? Is it kind of the introspection that you're doing and kind of reflection on your leadership, or is it actual like physical paper writing and kind of that coursework?
I mean, I want to reserve some space for Chris because I think that was coming from him, but I also gave a point of departure for difficulty. I would say it's more of the former than the latter. I think that's the part of it, because I think a lot of it is, like I said, the questions are so important, and like attending to the questions that come up, and that engagement process can be challenging. I think it's the way the course is presented also is different from a lot of traditional pedagogies that you've experienced in your academic career, that for like the way that you think about education, or the way that I think about education, I should say. I can't speak for you.
It also sort of, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
No, you should.
Yeah, so definitely I think that the paper was not difficult, and the teaching team is very, very helpful. There are weekly, when we had the course, there are weekly emails that we need to do. It was basically a reflection, and also your understanding of the course and how has the course been impacting you for that week. So basically it's, if you have anything, just be honest of what you are experiencing. But the course, as Stephen said, is not the pedagogy way. It was ontological way being presented, shared, and that was challenging for me. And you have to be very, very focused on what was read in front of you, and that attention. My attention span is not that long, so you have to really stay and read and just sort of learn and process that, and that was not easy for me. So but I think it takes time. It does take time to get used to and understand. Helpful.
Billy,
Yeah, I was also going to throw in, it depends on what you pick for your leadership project as well. You can really try and stretch yourself with what you pick, and sometimes that can end up being a lot more work than you might expect, right? So I think you want to carefully define what that is. For me, it was actually responding to a full month of emails, and that was a very, very difficult task for me to do. To make sure that I had communicated properly with everybody who had reached out to me for me in a month. But that's because I have a lot of people who reach out, and I have a big mental block on that. So
those were work emails.
Yeah, it was work. Yeah, work emails. but finding a time for everybody was quite challenging. So, and people pick different projects as well that are less, I think, or different, I would say, but equal probably as challenging. So.
Uh-oh, now the questions are coming fast and furious in the chat. So Brandon asks, how does the course help with self-confidence?
I think I can speak a little bit on that. Because I was not confident before this course. What was helpful was that after taking this course, my focus changed and the way I think changed. Because before I only focused on my constraints, something I couldn't change. But after this course, I changed my focus on removing the conceptual constraints and work on the functional constraints. So I was able to, I feel like it doesn't really matter who you are or which level you are at this moment. What matters is that how you think and act in the way which works for you to be able to create the future or like kind of like create a context that works for you to improve yourself.
Thank you, Sue. I wish I had the confidence to do in China what you have done in America. You're incredible. All right, Stephen, Billy said you're supposed to land the plane. So I think last question is yours. We've heard a lot about how William and Chris were able to connect to their father better from this course. On the flip side, love to hear how Stephen became a better father leader to his wing person.
Sure. I think that it dovetails actually with what I'd say about the self-confidence question to a certain extent, which is there's a module about the freedom to be and freedom to act that was really powerful for me with self-confidence. I think that with my child, the practice of the exercises, the weekly exercises and assignments, I think, are a lot about being and experiencing. And I think that being and experiencing and connecting with my child with intention is something that happened naturally as a result and consequence of being able to devote time to that I had already committed with this course. So it was a very business termy efficient way of parenting for me to be able to go out and play with her in the forest and the streams and just kind of be in the moment and stuff. I hope that's not too vague, but I think that's part of it.
Thank you, Pranav, for the question. Thank you, Stephen. Okay, so Sue, Chris, Stephen, and Billy, thank you very much for being our pilot cadre last year. It thrills me about the Friday conversations that have continued to deepen the discussion after the course. Stephen, thank you for bringing this to the M&O faculty and just helping this earn its credibility. Viji, thank you. I'm sorry to give you a one-off special pathway other request. I really appreciate your support. And Dr. Cooper, Khush, my mentor and my friend, I'll maybe just leave the last words with you. I appreciate that you trust us capitalists over here on the side of the campus and see the possibility of practical partnership, but I'll just leave the last words with you.
Well, I think I'll just summarize a point that everyone has made, both in it's been a challenge and a victory, which is being present, right? And that's what's challenging about the course is you have to be present in this world we actually live in. And it's exhausting because we're not used to being present. We're used to taking shortcuts. And when one is present to life on its own terms, magic happens. And you can sort of see, and when I'm not talking about magic like I have a wand, I'm talking about magic like, wow, being one way 1 minute and then being another way another minute by choice. And, you know, we want folks to get their arms on the levers and dials of what makes their life work. And you know, that's the invitation. You know, what the levers and dials are, you'll find those. But the level of presence that you'll leave with is exquisite, because it's the world has its issues, but it's also a mighty beautiful world. And these people that we have to lead, these critters, these Homo sapiens, right? You know, when put together, can do magical things, and that is what the invitation is. The invitation isn't to be smarter. The invitation is to be in the world.
Thank you. It is an honor to get to partner with you and to build these bridges across the wonderful world that is UCLA. So
Yes.
we will complete this 1 hour lunch and learn. Thanks everyone for your attention. Sue and Chris and Stephen and Billy, thank you for the thought you gave in preparation, such that you could try to squeeze a big experience into 10 minutes. Thank you for your thoughtful answers. Thanks for everybody attending. You know, share this with your other FEMBAs. You know, bring somebody into the course. Let's, you know, I want to have 25 current students. That's my goal. It's a stretch goal. Can't do it without you. And thank you for your attention today. We'll share around this link, and hope to see you on campus this August for a wonderful discovery, a transformative discovery on leadership. Thank you for the virtual hands. I love Zoom. Thank you, Michael. Thanks, Brandon. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you for the